Welcome to the Beaver Oasis Advice Column. This is my colleague, Chelsey the Creator.
Hello. This is Harry the Historian for his expertise in everything history. And this is Jordan the Gymnast. He is an elite gymnast, and we are very glad to have him here today with us. We decided we needed to move outside for the remainder of our Beaver Oasis. Harry the Historian, this first question is for you. Do you think you're ready?
Of course.
All right, first-year educator from Farmington, Maine is writing in. Dear Harry the Historian, I was wondering what your thoughts are regarding the recent bill from the Republican Party that would reallocate 50% of educational resources towards new tanks for the military.
Wow.
Take it away, Harry.
That's a really good question. All right. So although I believe in having a strong military, the United States clearly spends enough money on defense as it is. Our entire country should be in an uproar at the idea of reducing educational spending by 50%. If anything, it should be the other way around. Education is the foundation of success and prosperity as a person and a country. We have to become more committed to our future through education. As my good friend Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Harry.
That's great, Harry.
Thank you. All right, Jordan, this one's for you.
Let's hear it.
I am in a state of shock. I cannot believe that our education department here in Maine has decided that it would be benefit of our children to replace gym time with iPad apps. What kind of logic would any person possibly justify for this happening?
Well, the gym, I love the idea of more gym time. Although with the diversity of multiple intelligences in the classrooms, students need to have a voice. Working with iPads can be a great way for students to get the differentiated instruction they need to learn in an engaging environment. The gym can also be a great place for kinesthetic learners to become motivated to succeed in school. I believe, even as a gymnast, that using iPads along with the gym can create an education that works for all styles of learners. Just make sure you don't replace physical activity with technology.
Oh.
Okay, Chelsey the Creator, we have a concerned father on our hands here.
I'm ready.
What do you think about calculators being removed from the math department budget since every student has their iPhone out in class anyway? My student does not have an iPhone. Does that mean my child will not have any access to a calculator? I am just a concerned parent who does not want my child to be doing mental math every day.
Wow, that's a very interesting question. You have a right to be concerned, Father. I would be too. A lot of people in today's society feel a little overwhelmed with the way technology is taking over the world. Your district was most likely considering student interests and the fact that students feel more comfortable today with cell phones than they do with human-to-human interaction. Technology is and should remain a vital resource to utilize in the classroom, but I would suggest you approach your child's school and simply explain that leaving calculators in the classroom, but giving the students the choice to use their cell phones would be much more inclusive and fair for all. I hope this helps. Good luck! All right, Harry, this one's for you. Ready to go again?
Oh, yeah.
My name is Lucy Liu from Scout Vegas, Maine. What
My
are
hometown.
those? She's writing in saying, I am a senior in high school and have read a Shakespearean play every single year. This past summer, I finished the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. It is so awesome and relatable. What do you think about replacing Shakespeare with 50 Shades of Grey in the classroom?
Wow, Lucy, glad to have a writer from my hometown. I'm really glad that you're reading and enjoying 50 Shades of Grey so much. I did too. I am praying for a fourth. Unfortunately, the books may not be appropriate for school, but that does not mean we have to keep reading Shakespeare every year hither. Throughout my teaching career, I have found the best way to keep students engaged and having fun is to meet their interests. I strongly believe schools should provide hundreds of different books rather than hundreds of the same book. This allows students to genuinely read what they want to read. Hope that helps.
Wow, Harry, that was a really good answer.
Thanks. All right, Jordan the Gymnast, we got one for you.
Let's hear it.
I'm an athlete, and with my schedule, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed about the formative and summative assessment in my school. My teacher tells me that they will help me and my learning in the long run, but I would rather just have one big test at the end of every unit. Can you help me understand? I really need to be motivated and able to produce good work, and right now, I have very little. Help! I'm a bit overwhelmed and don't know if I'll make it through this class.
Boy, don't I know your feeling. The problem is that students today are conditioned to focus more on the grades they get rather than what they are learning. With the formative and summative assessment, it creates a system that allows students to work towards the big goals while spending time producing smaller assessment pieces along the way that really benefit the learning. As students, like you, complete formative assessments, the teacher is getting a very good idea of where you are and at what point you will be going next. This allows them to differentiate between learners and decide how to proceed. I hope this makes sense, and I hope that you will now be able to understand, accept, and be engaged with the different assessments your teacher throws your way. Regarding the sports, I commend you for staying involved and active. Keep on trucking. If your teacher really has your learning in mind, they will get you through the tools that you need to succeed. All right, Chelsey the creator, we got one for you. This is a first-year teacher.
Ooh, okay.
Dear Chelsey the creator, I am a first-year teacher and I am really struggling to make lesson plans because I did not write them in college. All my colleagues graduated from the University of Maine at Farmington and keep raving about their professor named Dr. Grace who made them write all of these intense lesson plans. They are now so thankful for her persistence because they can crank out lesson plans in 30 minutes. On top of this, my district is really pushing the idea of backwards design on me. What is this? I don't get why they want me to planning backwards when I believe that teachers should go one day at a time. Help!
Wow, okay, that's a really good question. I think I have an answer that can be really helpful for you though. First off, I too am a UMF grad, so go Beavers. But I do understand exactly where you are coming from. Backwards design can be a little tricky to get the hang of, but once you've got it, your lesson plans will become a piece of cake, just like they are for your colleagues. Let's break it down. The backwards design model starts with the end goals in mind. What do your students need to achieve? Which standards are they working towards? What do they need to understand to be successful in the current unit? These are all questions that you need to consider before you begin planning your lessons. Once you have the answers, you are ready to start crafting your unit and thus your lessons and around these essential questions. The backwards design model simply asks you to work backwards so that you can be extremely successful in reaching attainable goals with your students. I hope this helps. All right, guys, we have one last question for today's show. Do you think we can answer this one together?
Oh
Of
yeah.
course, let's
All
do it.
They're very much in need of our help. It's addressed, dear anyone who will listen, so they didn't even care who answered as long as someone did.
Wow.
I'm about to begin my 38th year of teaching and have been told by the principal that parents are requesting students not be put in my classroom. Apparently, they think I do very little to engage my students. I disagree though, because every day my students get to complete their work independently while my classical music plays in the background. There surely isn't a better learning environment I could provide for my students, is there?
All right.
Want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm going to tackle the first part. All right. Unfortunately, your classroom doesn't sound very engaging. I'm sure you love the students being quiet so you can listen to your classical music, but for most students, this atmosphere is very boring and is not conducive to learning. I can tell you care, since you are writing to us.
That's very true. Jordan, what do you have to add?
Well, on top of what he says, to keep students engaged, you must first meet their interests. It is important to get to know all your students. You should know what they like and incorporate that into your classroom.
Yeah, and a great way to do that is you should constantly be incorporating students' different intelligences. For example, you work well independently with classical music. This means you are more of an intrapersonal and musical learner. Meanwhile, say Jimmy might love being outside and works well by talking with group members. Jimmy relies on his naturalist intelligence as well as his interpersonal intelligence. Therefore, your classroom environment is very negative for Jimmy. It completely shuts him down and does not allow him to engage in his learning. You can do this though. Just remember, it is all about the students. Just start by differentiating your methods a little, but more to include your students.
Awesome.
Hope this helps. Good luck. As you as our viewers know, we always end our Beaver Oasis shows with our mean tweets portion. So we all pulled out a couple and we're ready to share those with you now.
All right, I'm going to tip it off.
Before we begin, we just want to remind you that these tweets were all created with love.
All right, here we go. I bet Harry the historian is single and lives with his cat. True.
You forgot that in hashtag you're ready to mingle. Alright, let's see. Chelsey looks like the type of person who would match their shirt with their socks.
You're not even wearing socks. Jordan the gymnast seems like the type of person who waits in the backyard for forsythias to bloom.
Oh, have you seen any?
No.
I think they're probably up by now.
I bet Harry the historian spends his weekends sitting in Starbucks writing monologues to strangers' conversations.
Is that true, Harry?
No.
Leave it to Chelsey to take practicum again. Congrats on being TA. Hashtag practicum nerd. Well, thanks.
True.
If Jordan the gymnast had a wordle to describe his practicum experience, it would probably only say, I am feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Just a bit.
Shoe fits.
Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next time.
Go Beavers.
So before we close, it's come to our attention that it's that time of year where we need to rate ourselves and how awesome we have been doing. So we're going to do that real quick.
All right. So personally, I think I worked really hard the whole semester. I was dedicated to practicum and spent a lot of time on everything. So I'm going to have to give myself an A.
I agree, Harry. I
Okay,
think that's a good
thank you.
choice. Personally, I mean, I've attended every class, I've turned every assignment in on time, and we've all done a lot of reflecting and are constantly revising our lesson plans and everything like that. So I also feel as though I deserve an A for my work.
Of course.
Well, I may not have been there every day. I was fortunately very busy with baseball, but I did try and communicate with all my professors throughout this experience, and I believe that throughout all the work that I've done that I deserve an A as well.
I agree, Jordan.
3 A's.
We hope you agree too. We'll see what the future holds.
Educational spending by 50%. If anything, it should be the other way around.
Logan, what are you doing? We're recording!
Okay, hang on. What's your name again?
Chelsey the creator.
The creator.
Oh, okay.
Has decided that it would be.
Henry, what is up with you?
Can't talk! That water really is dripping. Year hither. Throughout my teaching career. Alright, Jordan the gymnast, we got one for you.
I thought you were just gonna keep going.
Henry?
Here we go. We got one for Jordan the gymnast.
Let's hear it.
I'm an athlete, and with my schedule, I'm
Guys,
feeling
we should probably start.
Chelsey the creator. Grow up.
Grades, they then. Ah!
Guys. Chelsey the creator, by the way. We'll take it.
We'll take it and we'll ride.